All right. Hey guys, welcome back to some crypto. In today's content, now we'll talk about BTC and Ethereum, and we'll talk about some of these alt on the macro scale and what type of price action we could be anticipating of the next like a few weeks or even like a few months going forward, right? So it is January 5th, 2022, 10 p.m. Eastern time, right? BTC 43,250, right? So now let's take a look at BTC. We're gonna start off on the quarterly basis. So let me know if the sound is good before we talk about all this good stuff, right, guys? So it is going to be quite important because we're breaking out. Right now we're at just about 43. So let's see if bulls going to show up within the next like a few a few hours or even like a few days, right? Hey, what's up, Clay? Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Hank in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. All right. So I think the sound is good, right? All right. So now the first thing we're going to talk about, guys, it is going to be BTC on a quarterly basis. So if you're trading BTC on the macro scale, you might be saying, okay, even though we're dumping, right, we're still above our quarterly 21 EMA. The quarterly 21 EMA support going to be somewhere around like a 21 to 22K, okay? Last quarter support, quarterly 21 support was right around like a 19, right? 19.8, but we pumped like over 10%, right? After the candle close right here. So now the quarterly 21 at 22K. So that's the only thing we needed to cover on the quarterly basis. We talk about how important how important it was for the quarterly cycle right here to close bullish, okay? If we closed bearish right there, it would be very, very bad. But at least, okay, we can say like, oh, our monthly, our quarterly cycle right here closed bullish. Even though we got a big rejection, at some point we're going to go back and retest at least 50% of the wick right here, which is going to be somewhere around like a 58. But that's not the topic as of now. Okay, the topic is like, are we going to find support, right? Down to the quarterly 21 if we break out like a 30K, okay? So we might not even drop all the way down to 30K this quarter. So all I'm saying is we just don't know how the quarterly 21 going to be behaving. If the volatility is low, it could move sideways and support the price down the road within the next like a 3 to 6 month. We don't know, okay? But all I'm saying is if for whatever reason you see BTC at the quarterly 21, you got to be greedy. It means like you got to be buying as much as you can, because once again, I don't think we're going to hit the quarterly 21 this quarter, right? But who knows? Okay, within the next like a few quarters, right? If you see BTC at the quarterly 21, regardless of the price, you got to be greedy. Regarding the potential bullish uptrend after that, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a monthly basis, right? So the monthly time frame, it is quite important, guys. As I said, I said it multiple times. If we retest the monthly 21, we're not going to break it. Okay, we will talk about the 3 weeks time frame and all that good stuff. But the monthly 21 right there, right back in June, we missed it by like a 10%, something like that, right? Let's take a look at it right here. So we missed it by 10%. So if you guys recall when BTC was at 30K back then, I was saying like the lowest we're going to drop, right? It is going to be down to the monthly 21. Okay, we did not drop to the monthly 21. We got a nice support at the 3 weeks to 1 EMA. Could not close below the 3 weeks to 1 EMA right here. If you take a look at it on the 3 weeks, right? So right now it seems like, okay, it seems like we got a good probability, right, to retest the monthly 2-on-1 if we break up below 40K support. So we will take a look at the 40K support on the lower degree and all that good stuff, right? So on a monthly basis, keep an eye on 37K. Okay, we talked about it back in December. We did not retest it. It seems like bears want to push hard enough to basically at least retest the monthly 2-on-1 EMA at 37K. I'm not saying we will retest it during this drop. It could take forever. It could take another 2 to 3 weeks before end of the month to basically retest the monthly 21. Something to basically keep in mind, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis. The 3 weeks time frame, not quarterly. The 3 weeks time frame, it is quite important also, right? If you guys recall back in January, all right, our first quarterly time frame right here, we got rejected. Okay, we pumped all the way up to 44, and by January 21st we dumped all the way back down to 30k. And what I said back then was like, we're bullish, even though we got a big rejection candle right here. The trend on the lower degree on the 3D basis was still bullish, so we basically just sucked it up and took it all the way up to a 60k and above. Right now we're back to the 3 weeks 21 EMA. MACD is negative right here. So if we do not push back up, we're most likely going to be breaking the 21 EMA. And if we break the 21 EMA on the 3 weeks basis, we definitely got our monthly 21 EMA at 37. All right, so something to keep in mind. We will talk about BTC in terms of a wave analysis and all that good stuff, because we already talked about it like last month, right? So 3 weeks 21 EMA could get in trouble over the next like a few days. Okay, MACD is negative right here, so that's not a good sign at all. And it is the second negative crossover. That's not the first one. The first one we had the first negative crossover back in June, right? And we flipped back bullish, and now we're getting a second crossover. So that's not a good sign in the short to medium term, right? It doesn't mean we're going to be in a bear market and game over. We're going to be dumping down to $1 and all that good stuff. I don't think that's how it is going to be. Okay, we're still above the monthly 21. So technically we're still in a bull market, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on the 50-day cycle. The 50-day cycle, it is quite the 21 EMA, it is almost at 31, 32k right here, to be exact 31.6. So as I said, on a quarterly basis, right, anything right close to actually monthly, okay, anything close to the monthly 21 EMA going to be bullish. The 50-day cycle could take time. Okay, it could take time. If we retest the 21 EMA right here, that's also going to be very, very bullish in the short term, right? So something to basically keep in mind. So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a weekly basis. The weekly time frame, it is not playing around. It is not playing around. We broke out below the weekly 21. The first thing we said was like MACD right here crossed negative, right? We got some higher highs right there, so it is a bearish sign. Okay, it is a bearish sign. So we just have to respect what the market is showing and just go with the short-term trend and wait for the weekly time frame to reverse over the next like a few weeks, right? Especially after we broke out below the weekly 21 EMA right here and retested 51.7. What we said was like 51.7 going to be our short to medium term resistance. Okay, and it's been like over 30 days and we could not break out above the 21 EMA. Okay, so it is not a good sign. Okay, so the next support on the weekly basis, it is going to be the weekly 100 EMA. If you just want to trade it based on EMAs, okay, you could trade it based on Fibonacci, right? You could be looking for like, let's say 0.786 right here, and be like, okay, our next big support going to be 34.35. However, if you do not want to take a chance, right, you just trade the monthly 21 EMA. Anything at or below the monthly 21 EMA, 37 going to be what? A steal, right? Even though, okay, the Fibonacci area you could be looking for, it is going to be 0.786, which basically giving you a nice confluence region with your 100 EMA. Okay, so something to keep in mind, the trend, it is still down. I don't see a bullish reversal yet. Okay, now let's take a look at it on a 3D basis. You guys know we do not basically flip bullish, right? until we get a 3D bullish MACD. Okay, at least a 2D bullish MACD, right? We will talk about the 2D and all that good stuff. But when we take a look at it on the 3D time frame, right? If you guys recall right here, what happened? What I was saying was like, do not panic, okay? However, if we open and close a candle below the below the 21 EMA, then we just have to pack our bags, okay, on the 3D. And that's exactly what's going on right here. Even though I was looking to be bullish right here, but I said exactly, if we break out below 52.7, let's just pack our bags, because we will be definitely below the 3D 21, and volatility could be very, very slow and very boring if you're basically looking for some bullish reversal pattern and all that good stuff, right? So just to cut it short, on the 3D time frame, right? As long as we basically staying below our 3D 21, I'm just gonna have to repeat it. As long as we staying below our 3D 21 and MACD right here staying negative, meaning bearish MACD, right? Right there, right? MACD pointing down, the trend, okay, it is still going to be down regardless of what the monthly is saying or the quarterly is saying and all that good stuff. Okay, it is always good to buy at macro support, but it doesn't mean, right, we will be reversing. We could get some macro support at 37K and move sideways between 37 to 40K and all that good stuff. But as long as we basically stay negative on our 3D time frame and all that good stuff, we won't get a big reversal. It all starts with the 3D time frame. Okay, so something to keep in mind: support and reversal are two different things. Okay, support means like price action most likely going to get bought up. Reversal means like we're going to the moon and all that good stuff, right? So keep that in mind, right? So keep an eye on your 3D time frame. The 2D time frame right here failed to cross negative. So if you guys recall what I was saying regarding these negative MACD, right? Whenever we try to cross bullish and get a strong rejection, something like that, we're always going to get some sell off, regardless of the time frame. So the bigger the time frame, the bigger the sell off. Okay, so especially on the 2D to 3D time frame. Okay, you guys know whenever we get this type of setup on the 6-hour time frame, what I usually say is like, it is time to pack our bags on the 6-hour time frame. It is a good shorting opportunity. Okay, so on the 2D, doesn't look great at all. Okay, it doesn't look great, right? So keep an eye on BTC, right, for next support low 40Ks, and after that you could be looking for a support starting at 37K on a monthly basis, right? So we can't talk about a support without talking about resistance, right? So our resistance, it is still going to be 51.7. I know most of you guys going to be like, that's too high, right? But we just have to respect the 51.7 range. Okay, so 51.7, it is not just a random price level. If you take a look at it back in February right here, that's where we got our big rejection, right? After we got the nice support from the daily 21 EMA, we pumped back up to 51.7, got a nasty rejection. And our big rejection from 65K after we dumped where we found support at 51.7 right here, consolidated and pumped it upside. Even dumped right here and consolidated for a few days before dumping lower. If you take a look at it right here, at the same time, 51.7, 52K area, bang. That's where we basically got the three-way move rejection all the way down to like a 39.5. And what we said after the breakout, we said we're going to the moon, right? Right here, bang, okay, acting as resistance. So we're still going to be paying attention to it, right? It doesn't mean like we're going to go back to it, but just in case, right, price action just decide to give us some sort of a correction right here, okay, something like that. So keep an eye on 51.7 if you see a big breakout to the upside, right? But as of now, I'm still going to stay with the trend, which is basically downward. And I said it since like the first drop right here. I try not to stay bullish. Everything is calling for lower prices. It doesn't matter how long it takes for the trend to continue to the downside. We just have to stay with the short to medium term trend. Okay, so which means like our 3D time frame, it is still pointing down. Okay, it is still pointing down, right? So something to basically keep in mind. Hey, what's up, Bible? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Doomsy in the house. Thanks a lot. Hey, Doomsy. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm all in, says Doomsy. Hey, Mal 101. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hey, Craig. Pablo S. Crypto. Bible in the house. All right. So, guys, we talked about resistance, right? And we already talked about our supports 40K, 37K, and all that good stuff. If we hit 37 this month, bang, okay, that's going to be a nice support, right? Going into February and all that good stuff, okay. For me, as long as we can stay above 30K, right, this quarter, I think we're okay. Okay, as long as we can stay above 30K, you know, before April, right, we could get a beautiful reversal in Q2, right? So now let's go ahead and, hey, what's up, Phipps? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Jeff in the house. Kiwi. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum, guys, before we talk about BTC on a 6-hour basis, right? So now Ether, guys. So Ethereum, right? So let's take a look at Ether on a monthly basis first, okay? Ether monthly 21 EMA, it is kind of bearish, right? It is all the way down to 2347, okay? That's going to be the monthly support. However, let's take a look at Ether on a 3D basis. So if we take a look at Ether on a 3D basis, guys, I said it when Ether, after Ether broke out below the 3D21, like the first week of December, right? And we got a nice candle close below it. What I said was like, okay, it is time to suck it up. The 3D time frame is showing a possible trend reversal. Okay, MACD was negative right here, right? And price action broke out below our 3D21, get a nice candle close, try to reverse back up above the 21 EMA, could not basically get another candle open and close above the 3D 21 EMA. So it was a nice bearish setup, okay? So, what we're looking at right now for Ether, it is going to be based on Fibonacci, right? So support area or level, to look for, going to be right here, 50% pullback. It is going to be all the way down to like 2850. However, if you want to look at it based on non-log scale, right? If you want to look at it based on non-log scale, 50% pullback going to be somewhere around like 3250. So, but what I'm saying is like 3150 down to 2850, right? Going to be the range to look for in the short to medium term. All right. So if you've been following us, exactly in our Discord group, we said exactly keep an eye on Ether. The trend, it is actually bearish. Our 3D time frame is saying let's pack our bags and just wait for some short-term pullbacks and all that good stuff, right? So keep an eye on Ether all the way down to a 2850, the lower range, the high range, somewhere around like a 3150. It can, once again, it can drop below that level also, right? But we will see if we can consolidate somewhere around this range before we call for another big move. But for whatever reason, guys, if the dump is hard enough, just try to catch it at the monthly 21, which is going to be at 2347. Okay, so hey, what's up, Mr. Park? Thanks a lot for tuning in. So now let's go back to BTC on a 6 hour basis, right? So if you take a look at BTC over the last few days, what we've been saying was like, okay, we know, our weekly time frame is bearish. We know our 3D time frame is bearish. We know our daily time frame is bearish. Okay. However, on a 6 hour time frame, right, we can basically be moving sideways. So the two most important moving averages to keep an eye on, it is going to be the 21 EMA and the 100 EMA. If the volatility is high enough, you can even use the 8 hour, especially on the when you're looking at the 8 hour 100 EMA. Depending on volatility, it is not systematic. You can't just say, okay, I'm always going to be looking at my 6 hour time frame. Okay, yes, most of the time I do, but sometimes I look at the 8 hour. For instance, right here, after we got the even before we get the rejection at the 51.7, we did call 51.7, but got a nice confluence, right? Our 8 hour 100 EMA was at 51, 51.3, 51.5 range. So I was like, okay, bang, we got a nice confluence region. We're most likely going to get some hard rejection at 51.7. Yes, it pumped to a 52, but who cares? Okay, we were just looking for a rejection. Okay, so 6 hour time frame, it is actually very bearish. We're still below our 21 EMA. What I've been saying was like, just if you're looking for some short-term trades, just keep it very simple. Okay, whenever we retest our 6 hour 21, bang. Okay, whenever we retest our 6 hour 21, bang, we just take a short position and just stay with the trend. Okay, and not try to basically get faked out and all that good stuff with these 6 hour short-term pullbacks, right? So 6 hour pretty bearish. MACD flip negative right here. That's a bad sign. It is a very bad sign, right? Because we're not getting any sort of bull divergences, right, on our 6 hour time frame. So really nothing is bullish regarding BTC from the monthly all the way down to 6 hour time frame. Okay, so let me take it back. Monthly, we're still above the monthly 21, but what I'm trying to say is like we could be retesting the monthly 21 over the next like a few weeks, right? So now let me take a look at the chat room. Hey, what's up, Strengths? Thanks a lot for tuning in. So let me know, guys, if you want me to take a look at any other alt. We already talked about BTC, macro supports, short-term resistance, right? Short-term supports and all that good stuff, right? So let me know which alt you want me to talk about, right? Let's take a look at Ether BTC, right? So Ether BTC, it just printed a I was thinking like it could basically retest the 0.084, but it did not even get the chance to retest it, right? So it is a technically it is a bearish pattern, right? Even if we basically push back up, right, it is still going to be a potential bearish pattern, right? For a continuation, it is going to be a double top, double bottom, right? So something to keep in mind. Yes, we could break out above it, but I would just stay with the bearishness until we get a potential higher breakout above the 0.088 range, right? And we could be saying, okay, the bearish setup is invalidated. But as of now, if we push back up to 0.084, it is still going to be a bearish pattern, right? Something to basically keep in mind. We did get a similar pattern right here, right? But broke out to the upside, retested it, and pushed higher. Could we create the same pattern right here? I don't know, because BTC is not looking great, and most likely the BTC dominance could be breaking out to the upside. If the BTC dominance, get a pump, we're most likely going to see Ether dumping lower. Okay, and the Ether dominance, it is still above like 20%. Okay, it is still above 20%. So, and on the 3D, we're already negative right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at 589. Let's go ahead and take a look at 589. So 589, the lower range support going to be 50 cents to a 55 cents, right? So got a short-term support 74 to a 65, but you know the bigger the macro support range going to be 50 cents to a 55. When we take a look at the RSI right here, we're getting a constant rejection right from the resistance trend line right here. So we got to break out above the trend line right here before calling for a potential reversal pattern right here, right? So 3D MACD, it is still negative, right? I was bullish on XRP after we got the bullish crossover right there, right? But we've got a nasty rejection. So we just needed to stay with the short to medium term trend, right? The upside resistance is going to be 165 to 195 once we get our macro reversal. If we find a nice support right here, let's say BTC finds support at 40K or 37, whatever, XRP flips bullish, we could be looking forward to break our support, resistance trend line right here, find a nice support right there, and basically continue our uptrend. But as of now, let's just wait, right, to see if we're going to, find a temporary support at, 74 to a 65. If we break it, 55 to a 50 cents going to be our next support. If BTC is to retest like, let's say 35, 37K, it is pretty normal for XRP to retest like, I wouldn't see anything crazy if XRP retests like 55, 50 cents, right? I'm not saying it will, but if BTC is to retest 35, 37, right, or even 37, XRP could move very fast, right? Because people could be panicking. They're going to be like, oh, BTC is breaking out below the 40K, and they forget about the monthly 21. We're going to get a nice bounce off of it, and people are going to flip bullish again. You see what I'm saying? So it might not, okay? It might not. So you might want to basically try to catch it at 65, 74 range. It is already at 76, right? So, and we already hit 60 cents back in December, right? That drop back in December. So 55 is not that far from that, December lows, right? Def cross incoming for BTC. What time frame? Def cross on the 5 minutes. Mr. Lou, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Hard token in the house. Say BCH. Hard to get, not hard token. So let's go ahead and take a look at ICP. So ICP, we just got a nice pullback. Right? So ICP is still on a downtrend, right? What I was saying when ICP was right here, what I was afraid of was like, okay, I said it clear. I said 28 going to be, 25 to 28 going to be support. However, if we break out below it, we could drop as low as 50% below that level. Okay, we're not quite yet 50% below the support area. We managed to push back up, but could not even get back above the 42. So 42 up to 57 going to be a very, very important level to keep an eye on. Okay, if we can manage within the next like a few months to get above like a 42 and then 57, bang, okay, we could try to get back above our 75 to $80 range. If not, we could be on a sideways correction within the next like a few weeks or even like a few months till BTC basically 3D on BTC flips positive. Once we get a positive momentum on BTC, everything could look, could basically look bullish. You know what I mean, right? So something to keep in mind, ICP, it is still on a downtrend. The best thing to do, right, is just accumulate it on the downside and don't, avoid accumulating it like every 5% drop. As I said, when it was like 57, right here, I was saying, for 28 going to be the average support, 28 to 25. And if we break it, you could be looking for like all the way down to like a 16.5 average price, 17.5. Okay, 16 to 19 average price, just about like a 17. That way, you're not going to be dollar cost averaging every 5%. Okay, and you're going to get a nice average once we start like to push high, because the type of prices I'm looking for ICP, it is all the way up to like 250 and then basically $600. Okay, but it could take time. Okay, it could take time. We've seen these prices before. We've seen it on Filecoin last year, late I think late January, when Filecoin was like $22. I was calling for $200. Okay, and Filecoin pumped all the way up to 220. But that time BTC was bullish. You see what I'm saying? So with ICP, we just have to be patient with it, and we could get our 10x to a 15x move over the next like a few weeks and so on, few months, depending on how long it takes, right? So hey, what's up, Kiwi? Algo. Let's go take a look at Algo BTC. Algo BTC, I just updated it yesterday. So Algo BTC on the weekly is flipping bearish again, but because BTC is negative as of now. Okay, so Algo, we got a trend line support, right? So if we break out this key level of 28, our next support going to be at 2000. Right, the upside target to look for, it is going to be somewhere around like 6,000, right? And secondary target going to be 8,000, and we got another one right there, right around like a 14,000. Okay, but got to break out above the above the September highs right there, 5,200, right? Let's see, we got to get our MACD to stay positive. If that's the case, we could be pushing much higher. Okay, much higher. But keep an eye on 2,000 level just in case we get a shakeout. Okay. Algo look like ICX. I mean, most of these alt, they printing the same pattern. I'm gonna show you what they're printing. Okay, after the let's say after the March 2019 dump, right? They dump lower. They move sideways, right? Let's say May 2020, they pump right here, and then they drop like first week of, let's say first week of February 2021. They all created this big dump, right? And then they pump back up in till like let's say May 2021, and now some of them they moving sideways. So that's a pattern most of these alt are printing. If you take a look at most of these alt, they got a big dump right here, most of it, and some of them they still above the 2020 lows, right? And some of them now they broke out, like let's say DUSK broke out to the upside with this pattern. Okay, so something to keep in mind. I think like alt they're going to be breaking out over the next like a few weeks or even like a few months, depending on how BTC is going to be reacting. The good news is like if you bought any alt after January 2021 against BTC, they're still above the 2021 lows, right? So if you're panicking in BTC in USD, you might be selling your alt in USD, but you're still okay up in BTC, right? Which is which is what's important, okay? Being up in BTC, because BTC will take care of itself, right? Over the next few years. I don't see BTC being like below, let's say 50K in 2 to 3 years. I see BTC around like 150 to 200K within the next like a 2 to 3 years. And by then we'll probably already pumped to 400K and dumping down to like a 200K, something like that, right? So if you traded BTC back in 2019, we were talking about this type of stuff, right? When the total market cap was like, let's say under 100 billion, right? I was saying like in 2021, we will be over 1 trillion, and we already pumped all the way up to 3 trillion. So my personal target, you don't have to believe it, but within the next 2 to 3 years, we're most likely going to be over 5 to 7 trillion. Okay. So if you're short-term trading, hourly, 6 hour, and all that good stuff, you don't care about like, the total market cap going all the way up to 7 trillion in 3 years. You'd be like, I want to make money now. But if you already bought your, like, let's say, got your Ethereum in the ledger, got your ICX in the ledger, your ICP and all that good stuff, whatever, okay, you might be just chilling and knowing exactly within the next like a few years you're going to be making plenty of money. Okay, so I don't think like the game is over. Crypto will keep on pumping over the next like a few months. You just have to be very patient. If you're a macro trader, if you're a short-term trader, you're going to be panicking every single hour. I'm telling you guys, I said it back in 2019. I said it back in 2019. It is already 2022. So just huddle your top coins, right? And be patient. If you are short-term trading, let's enjoy the party. If you're macro trading, just don't trade BTC on a daily basis. Okay, don't trade these alt on a daily basis. Sometimes these alt, right? For instance, let's go ahead and take a look at request. So if you take a look at request, right here, when I was when I was basically showing you guys the request setup, was like request was under like 200 sats, and we did have a target all the way up to 2000. So if you want patient, you're not going to make a 10x move in your BTC. Okay, you just got to be really patient. And request dumped a lot after that. It pumped like all the way up to, let's say, all from like a 300 sats, dumped like nearly 60%. So if you panicked, right, and sold all your requests at 130, you're going to be pissed, right, seeing requests all the way up to 2000 sats. All right, so just have to be very patient with this alt. Sometimes they can take like 9 months or even like 1 year to hit target. But remember, these targets, they're not basically 10%. Okay, a 1000% gain in BTC, you don't want to expect it like in 1 week, 2 weeks. You got to be very patient and go through the waves, and basically you will collect your profits. Right. So basically stay bullish on the macro view, right? Now let's go ahead and take a look at Tezos. So Tezos. So guys, I've been holding Tezos since when January 20. December 2020, right? So Tezos next support going to be 350 to 250. That's going to be our macro trend line support area. All right. So next upside resistance, it is still going to be 15 to $16. But let's see, once we get our weekly bullish crossover, actually 3D, okay? We got to get our 3D bullish crossover before we talk about any potential reversal. It means like, even though, we can retest 250 to 350 range, it might not be, it might not reverse right away till we get our bullish crossover right here. Okay, and after that we could be looking for our next macro resistance all the way up to $16, right? And so on and so forth, right? 16, 23, and all that good stuff, right? So the reason why I'm being patient also with Tezos is like, I'm trading Tezos BTC, right? Even though we talk about Tezos USD a lot, if you take a look at it right here, after we bought Tezos somewhere around like let's say 7,000, 8,000 range, right? We said 20,000 going to be resistance. We did hit like 19,000, give or take, right? Missed 20,000 by a few points. But the good news is like we're still above 7,000. So if you've been holding Tezos against BTC, you're still up in your BTC, right? Yes, you're not up like 10x and all that good stuff, but you're still up. Okay, you're still up, right? And once we hit like 35,000, you might want to take good profits, okay, regardless of Tezos USD, what Tezos USD is doing, right? Mr. Shu, I don't know who decides which one will pump first. So when market is not bullish, it is very hard to know which one will pump first, okay? But if market is bullish, you just don't care. If they got the same setup, you just buy and both of them will pump. But if market is not bullish, you might get like, let's say, 5 bullish setups and none of them will pump. So or at the most you're going to get one. Hey, what's up, K4 Liberty? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Simply I am. Thanks a lot for tuning in. ICP is a nice lotto ticket, says Mr. Shu, Mr. ICX. 83 Madam, thanks a lot for tuning in. OMG. Uh, Jeff, I don't know if you sign OMG or you just sign like, OMG. What do I think about Ether in 3 years? I mean, Ether in 3 years, guys. Guys. I don't see Ether being below, like, let's say 3,000, or 2,000 in 3 years. If we expect, and let's say we're expecting BTC to be above like 150, 200K, 0.1 BTC alone, right, going to be 20K. Okay, even if BTC is like, let's say 0.05 BTC, right, in 3 years, it is still going to be like somewhere around like 10K. So if you're trading the macro, you're going to win the game. You're going to win the game. That's just guaranteed, right? That's just guaranteed. But if you want to trade the short-term bearishness and all that good stuff, you just have to go through the waves and just have to go through the emotional change and all that good stuff, right? Panicking, waking up 3 o'clock in the morning, checking your phone, you know, washing your face, checking your phone, and all that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys, the first thing you do when you wake up is like, take a look at the price of BTC, even before you say hello to your wife or your husband, whatever. So KP, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Kelly. Yeah. So do it like Kelly. Accumulate the dips and you know, and wait for the next, like, I'm still bullish, guys, so don't get me wrong. Even though market is dumping, I don't think like we're in a bear market. I think we could be in a short-term downtrend and consolidate over the next like a few weeks, few months in this range of 60 to 30K, who knows. But I don't think like we're going to be in a 2 years 3 years bear market. Even the 2018 bear market lasted the 2018 bear market lasted like for what, 12 months. That's it. Okay. So right here, December 2017 all the way down to December 2018. So that's why it is so important to play, to trade the macro view, because if you trade at the macro view, you're going to be like, okay, right here, I'm going to be buying at the monthly 21, and anything below it, it is going to be a steal. Okay, right here, you buy at the monthly 21, anything below it, it is going to be a steal. Right here, you buy at the monthly 21, anything below it, it is going to be a steal. If I say it right here, most of you guys going to sell everything, right? You buy at the monthly 21, right? Once again, anything below it going to be a steal. Okay, yes, it can drop, but who cares? Okay, if you're waiting for like a 10 trillion market cap, 20 trillion market cap, right? So hey Tyro, thanks a lot for tuning in. Sometime you wake up in the middle of the night and checking the phone. We all do, man. We all do. Some of us don't even sleep. So let's see, guys. If we got to get a strong bounce at the monthly 21, uh, you know, and see if we can stay above it before end of the year quarter. Okay. So anything below it going to be a steal once again, right? It is up to you, not financial advice, to make a decision. Do you want to buy at the monthly 21, or do you want to take a risk and wait for the monthly 50? If you're a macro trader, it doesn't matter to you, because whenever you buy at the monthly 21, you guaranteed yourself for a 10x move. Okay, meaning like if you bought BTC back in 2019, November 2019 at 69K, 6.9K, right? You still made a nice 8 to 9x, which is what, 10x nearly. Yeah. If you bought BTC back in 2014 at the monthly 21, and you sell at the monthly 21 again, right? You still made a nice 14x, right? If you're a genius, right, and you sold the top, you made a nice 50x move. Okay. Yeah. Let's take a look at BTC on the hourly. So don't be surprised, right, to read for a for the hourly 21 EMA retest. So don't be surprised for the hourly 21 EMA retest. If we take a look at it on the, let's take a look at it on the 15 minutes. Yeah, the 15 minutes most likely going to give us a bounce. So keep an eye on this move within the next like a few hours, right? It is likely to create a short-term flat and retest the potentially even like the 15 minutes 100 EMA, right? depending on volatility, how how slow it will get back to 43, 43 and a half to 44. I was expecting the move to go much higher, up to 44, 44.3, but it seems like 44, 43.8 was the short-term resistance, right? If not, it can still create a zigzag like that, something like that. Still, okay. Hey, what's up, Buenos Ben Hoovers? Don't worry about the title, man. Just check the content. Uh, yeah. Let's take a look at the BTC dominance, right? The BTC dominance, it is likely to reverse. So it is likely to push to the upside. If you guys recall what happened back in September right here, okay? We pushed back up to 47 and a half. We definitely, okay? We definitely got a pretty good, pretty good chance to, retest the 47 to 48 again, okay? Yes, if we break out below 39, 38 right here, it is going to be what? All season, because BTC could be dumping all the way down to 25%. Right? But the BTC, the thing, that's why you got to watch Ether. The BTC dominance can't push to the upside without the Ether dominance losing some value. The Ether dominance right now, it is still above 20%. Okay, it is still above 20%. So in order for BTC to break out, Ether has to break down. Okay, so it is time to go back to the king, and that's the Ether 3D setup right here. Okay, yeah. So I haven't talked about XLM over the last few weeks, but if for whatever reason, okay, we get a breakdown, the support area to keep an eye on going to be 300 sats down to I mean 350 down to 300 sats. The upside resistance, it is still there, right, up to 2,500, right? I mean up to 3,000 actually. So keep an eye on XLM. It hasn't been doing nothing over the last few years, so it looks like a stable coin. That's why it is safe to buy, because it is not doing nothing and it will do something. Okay, so it's not like it is dumping like against BTC. It's been pretty stable over the last 2 years. Okay, since like November, actually September 2019, right? The average price is roughly around like 600 sats to a 650. Okay, so anything below the the 600 sats, it is going to be a steal. And I said it right multiple times, 500 sats, 500 to a 600 sats, it is going to be accumulation range for XLM. Just like, you know, ADA back in 2019, when ADA was right around like, 600 sats, we said it is time to accumulate it. Okay? But it did not break out till 2021. So it is a macro setup, right? It was a macro setup. So, all right, guys, I'm just gonna call it a day. It is already could this be a head and shoulder pattern? Head and shoulder pattern on BTC. I mean, on the hourly basis, yeah, but you can't call this a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, you could anticipate one on a lower degree like 3D, right? You could. It is quite risky, but you could say, hey, if we find support right here, we can go back up to like a 52 and create a nice head and shoulder right here. But it is too dangerous to try to print this pattern and just say it is going to play out like that. As I said, we just have to wait for our 3D time frame to flip bullish. Okay, if the 3D time frame flips bullish, right, we can print whatever we want. But just print a pattern because you think like market will do it, that's not safe. You see what I'm saying? That's not safe. But you could definitely do something like that and just try to see how it goes. Okay, but I can't be calling for a reversal as of now, as long as our MACD right here is not saying we're going to be flipping bullish. Capish? Right. All right, guys, I'm just going to call it a day. Right, make sure to join the public Telegram group, link in the description. If you're looking to join Send Premium for this short to medium term setup, we've been bearish, after we broke out below the 53, and we stayed bearish over the last 30 days, doing nothing but just staying with the trend and not try to basically go against the trend over the last, few weeks, few months. Okay, so the hardest thing is to determine the trend. Once you determine the trend, just stay with it. Don't try to go against it. When BTC was going up from 33, we stayed bullish. All the bears been calling for lower prices, right? We said just stay with the trend. After we broke out right here, we said stay with the trend. Okay, so if you don't stay with the trend, you're going to be panicking all the time. Even sometimes when you stay with the trend, you're still going to be panicking, but it is worse, right, when you go against the trend. Stay with the trend, okay? Don't try to, I'm not trying to look for bullishness if I don't see it. If I see something bullish, I will go with it. If I don't, I just suck it up, okay? I just suck it up, right? All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. For now, on the daily target 17K, says Mr. 83 Madden. Are you mad, Madden? I'm just joking.